You know, magnesium gets a lot of talk these days around a mineral that many of us, nearly 90% in many studies, are deficient in. But there's one mineral that gets missed a lot and shows up a lot in mineral metal tests that a lot of our clients do. And it has a key role in antioxidant support in the body, amongst several other things. And so if you are seeing insulin problems or ammonia excess built up, okay, in the body, tissue damage, mitochondrial dysfunction, all of those could be related to manganese. That's right. Many times when we talk about manganese, most people are like, what is manganese, right? And it's in certain foods. And so we're going to talk about what foods those are, because if you're not eating them, likely you're not getting enough manganese, okay? And so let's break through what could be leading to poor energy metabolism, potential insulin or carb intolerances that you have, and it might be manganese, all right? So if you're new to this channel, my name is Troy Rice. I'm an integrative medicine practitioner and naturopath, trained in several different disciplines, including functional medicine and brain health from Raymond Clinics, functional breathing from Oxygen Advantage, and I bring all of that to the table and help build precision wellness plans for people that are stuck and looking to root cause their problems. So today, let's dig into manganese so you can understand why you might even care, and if it is something you're deficient in, whether you choose testing to see or based on how you're feeling, how you can actually take steps with simple food changes to get manganese back in your nutrition plan. So here we go. So as I mentioned before, I truly consider this to be a hidden player in antioxidant defense, okay? It's responsible for 6 enzymes in the body. And just to call out those particular enzymes real quick, and then why a shutdown or a dysfunction of those enzymes actually causes you problem, okay? So you've got superoxide, dismutase, and don't pay attention to the terminology here, especially if you get lost in that, but listen to the consequences of having a deficit related to this enzyme or protein needed and what manganese uses for it, okay? So that's increased tissue and mitochondrial damage and oxidative stress, okay? Arginase, the next one. Ammonia accumulation and kidney damage, so that's why you'd care about that. Pyruvate Carboxylase, impaired insulin production, low carb intolerances, and ammonia accumulation. Again, glutamine synthetase, weaker immunity, intestinal permeability, ammonia accumulation, neurotoxicity. So again, if you're waking up with severe brain fog or you're having trouble sleeping at night, you're likely not hitting your REM sleep cycles as well. Manganese might be able to help with that. Divalent Metal Transporter 1, DMT1, that's a mouthful, right? What is that needed for? So this is related to poor iron homeostasis as well. So if you have iron problems or utilization of iron in the body. And then the last enzyme here that's important is transferrin receptor, or TFR, okay? And again, poor iron homeostasis and manganese overload or deficiency. And we're going to talk about that too, because what if you have excessive amounts of manganese in the body? So manganese excess versus manganese deficiency. And a lot of times that manganese excess is not really coming from excessive amounts of food intake, but it's usually showing up in contaminated water or certain types of water that you may be consuming or bathing in on a daily basis, okay? So check this statistic out though, okay? Did you know that women consuming less than 1 milligram per day of manganese often experience pain during their premenstrual phase of the estrous cycle? So if you are actually experiencing pelvic pain or pain leading up to menstruation, manganese may actually be deficient and or might be helpful in this case. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? Men who consume less than 0.74 milligrams per day often experience erythematous rashes. What is that? That means small little red rashes that show up on the skin, and sometimes they might show up with randomness, like where is this coming from? And so that could likely be related to a manganese deficiency, okay? So 3 risk factors clinically studied to be related to manganese deficiency. Sorry, that word's catching me up today. Okay, so reduction in bone mineral density. All right, so women with osteoporosis have been observed to have low serum manganese. All right, so that's interesting. Lowers body's ability to manage free radicals and ROS, which is reactive oxygen species. So what does that mean? Manganese makes up the manganese superoxide dismutase, which is an enzyme we mentioned earlier, and that enzyme scavenges for free radicals and ROS in the mitochondria and the endothelium and the plaque. And so, in other words, if you have a deficiency where manganese is actually not supporting that enzyme, you can have a breakdown in those processes, and you can have a buildup of free radicals and reactive oxygen species in the body. Okay, so you absolutely need that. This is why manganese is so important for antioxidant sport. Direct cause of insulin resistance, and I've talked about insulin resistance in many of the videos I've done as far as how insulin resistance builds up, where you have free-flowing insulin in the body. It no longer can drive glucose into the cells. There's an imbalance cause. You can somehow go through various different methods of particular fasting, intermittent fasting, maybe even nutritional lifestyles to focus on, so that you can slowly start to back regulate the insulin levels in the body. Okay, so a little bit more to call out here. Insulin resistance can be thought of as a cellular antioxidant defense mechanism. Okay, so in other words, when all of these break down, insulin can act in the body to help fight against that. And so if it's not working properly, that can be a breakdown in your antioxidant defense as well. And so same enzyme involved in this, which is the manganese superoxide dismutase. Okay. So what are signs? I mean, when we break all the terminology down and everything, which is always a mouthful, right? What are the signs? So signs of deficiency: allergies, diabetes, dizziness, fatigue, bone fractures or osteoporosis, hypoglycemia, myasthenia gravis. Again, if these are new terminologies to you, that's okay. But if it resonates with you, I want to call these out. Ringing in the ears or tinnitus can sometimes be related to that. Muscular weakness, weak ligaments, and tendons. Okay? And then signs of excess: anorexia, ataxia, iron deficiency, and we talked about the enzymes that are related to that. Neurological symptoms, severe brain fog, maybe even it's a neurotransmitter dysfunction as well, maybe the production of serotonin or the utilization of dopamine, okay? And then schizophrenia. And then one thing that we always miss. So sometimes when we start to build a nutrition plan and we put minerals and vitamins back in our body, we might miss what's called synergistic cofactors, okay? So some of the cofactors for manganese, to make sure that it's uptaked in the body and utilized appropriately, you need to have good levels of zinc, choline, which comes from acetylcholine. You can find that in things like egg yolks, okay? And then vitamin K, which vitamin K2 is absolutely needed for the uptake and synthesis of vitamin D3, right? And so vitamin K is absolutely needed in this case as well. So why should you care, right? So we talked a little bit about the 6 enzymes in the body, but let's break it down a little bit more simplistic here, okay? So roles in the body: energy production. So it's good for your metabolism, mitochondria, glucose tolerance maintenance. In other words, when your body breaks down food and it stores it as glucose and then glycogen in the liver and the muscle tissues and then to be used as energy for later, how is your body doing that? How is it maintaining your glucose, okay? And the integrity of your tendons and your ligaments. So a lot of times you'll start maybe feeling muscle pains and weakness and things like that, even if you're not even working out heavily. That can be a sign of manganese deficiency. And then it's absolutely needed for bone development, okay? So here are systems in the body that manganese is absolutely needed for or pulled on to help function optimally, okay? Your nervous system and the synthesis of neurotransmitters, your reproductive system for fertility, your endocrine system for normal adrenal gland function and thyroid gland function, okay? And those adrenal glands are so important. I've done several videos on this, where those are your stress modulators, okay? And if you live a high stress state life, you are burning out those adrenal glands, okay? And it's just excreting cortisol constantly. So you definitely want strong adrenals. You definitely want to get your stress management under wraps, but support those adrenal glands, okay? For women especially if you don't have your ovaries anymore, Ovaries are what is needed to help produce estrogen. Otherwise, estrogen is produced through your adrenal glands and your fat tissue. So think about that. Supporting your adrenal glands is absolutely critical. Skeletal, tendons, ligaments, connective tissue support, metabolic, energy production, glucose tolerance, we talked about that, utilization of fats and carbs, right? Because the first place that your body's going to look to burn energy is glucose. Next, it's going to burn your fats, okay? Your stored fats that you have in your body as energy. So making sure that you're metabolically healthy for that, you need manganese as well. Detoxification, so it's involved in superoxidase, dismutase, we've talked about that, free radical, RAS management, why you should care like your mitochondria. Like there's a whole phase in there, and if you were looking to get a deep dive in this, I would encourage you to check out Physionic. It's a community on YouTube. It teaches exactly how mitochondria works, how it works with ATP, how it works with free radicals and ROS, and how a homeostasis of those processes is absolutely key to make sure that your mitochondria is working for you. And if your mitochondria is working for you, that means that you have a good metabolism, a good detoxification process, and you're helping out your liver. Okay? So how much do you need? So for males, 2.3 milligrams per day. Females, 1.8 milligrams per day. Pregnancy or lactation women, 2 to 2.6, so you're going to up that, right? Children, 1 to 3, you're looking at 1.2 milligrams per day. Children, 4 to 8, 1.5 milligrams per day. And children, 9 to 13, and 1.9 milligrams per day. As you get above that, age 13, you really get closer to the male and the female adult ranges there, okay? So what does that mean, right? Like, how do I actually get to a state of accumulating manganese at those levels in the body? And so I've broken this down by foods that contain manganese and how much. So literally you could think about, like, if I wanted to eat these particular foods or a blend of these foods, how many milligrams would I be getting a day? Okay, so let's take a look at these. 0.5 milligrams to 1 milligram foods, and then I'll break it down between 1 milligram or higher, and then 0.1 to 0.5. So you can say, well, I don't really like the foods that are in the 1 milligram or higher, but I do like, some of the foods in the 0.5 to 1. Well, maybe you just need to uptake in those or blend a few and get to the ratio you need, okay? So let's do 1 milligram or higher first, right? Mussels. Just 3 ounces cooked has 5.8 milligrams. That's way more than what you need, right? And that's not going to be, again, there's not a lot of studies out there that say like eating X amount of foods is going to cause an excessive need of magnesium. Usually it's related to manganese too much found in like your water, okay? So that's one way. Hazelnuts, 1.6 milligrams. Pecans, 1.1. Brown rice, 1.1. Oysters, 1.0. And then getting into the 0.5, you have your clams, your chickpeas, your spinach, your pineapple, soybeans, whole wheat bread, oatmeal, peanuts, black tea, lentils. And then getting down to some of the starches more in the legumes, we have your potatoes with less, in the 0.3 range, white rice, kidney beans, acorn squash, blueberries. So let's just go through a scenario. So let's say like you're somebody that likes a salad, right? And you're a woman. And if we go back to here, women need 1.8, okay? So how could we get 1.8? Well, we could make a salad. And if we have the salad and we have a half cup boiled spinach, that's 0.8, right? Well, now we're missing 1. So how can we add to that and get back to the 1? Well, we can consider things like pecans, and you could get 1 right out of that. So a half a cup of spinach and 1 ounce of dry roasted pecans will give you just enough you need on a daily basis. You see how we did that? So go ahead and use that. And also I want to share like a trick here that I use with a lot of clients. There's some algorithm programs that I use through like Rupa Health as well. But if you are technology savvy or you're interested in this, open up ChatGPT, okay? And if you're familiar with GPT or ChatGPT, it's AI algorithms and all that. But this isn't a case where I would use this, okay? So you're going to go into ChatGPT and you're going to just type in these foods, or just type in the foods that you like. So let's say you like hazelnuts, pecans, brown rice, spinach, maybe peanuts, maybe lentils, kale, black pepper, apples, right? Romaine lettuce. Put that into ChatGPT and say, please build recipes with these particular food items for me. And it will do that for you. It will actually break that down and accumulate that. And so you can have that just curated for you. So there's a simple way to come up with a really cool recipe on how you could build these things into meals or just customize it into your own salad or dish or whatever you want. So try that method out because it's awesome. And then I like to end any training with, how we love to help here at Rice Wellness Center, which is we believe in helping teach people how to build a wellness suit. And we believe many people get into this place where there's so much misinformation online about you should do this particular diet and you should restrict calories and do this, or you take these medications or whatever it is, or even it's a healthy, like take all these supplements, and they're just chasing their health their whole life. And they get to a place where it's good and then they fall back. And so we believe teaching you how to live in a state of your wellness suit. Like, what does that look like for you? Get you healthy first, and then the results will come, right? And so whether that's weight loss for you, reversing autoimmune issues, preventing disease, or even doing what we help with some of our clients, which is anti-aging and longevity. Like, how could you actually live a lifestyle that promotes slowed aging and living longer? And so we customize this, break down the one-size-fits-all approaches, and personalize their wellness. And we do that through signs, symptoms, listening, building a foundational lifestyle, and then leveraging precision labs and precision medicine approaches to help people customize a plan that's right for them. So if that sounds intriguing to you, I want to encourage you to reach out. There's a couple of resources here. So if you want to learn about personalizing your wellness suit, you can click this button on the guide. You can access a free de-stress guide, which covers all of those foundational pillars for your wellness suit. And then a place that shows, what does precision protocols look like, or labs or anything like that. Maybe a minerals and metals lab that teaches you about your manganese and other mineral levels, okay? So there you go. Hopefully this training was helpful, and I appreciate your time. And again, many things in the body are always working for you, okay? Your body's always working for you. So if it's prioritizing other things and you're seeing it show up as problems in your health, it's likely related to an imbalance. And I'm hoping that these trainings like magnesium and mineral trainings like manganese will help you think through what some imbalances might be that could be throwing you off from living the life that you deserve. So there you go, and I will see you in the next training.